There are games that can handle hundreds or even thousands of entities moving around. If you use a single CPU and a single core, the number of entities will be very small, sometimes in the dozens. How can you control then so many entities and still keep a good game performance? Let's talk about two common ways to deal with this by using coroutines or multi-threading after the intro.
Welcome back! If you are new to the channel, I make games, and you can download many of my games from the link in the description below.
So what exactly are coroutines? Simply put, functions that can pause execution and resume later. They are incredibly useful for handling tasks and don't need to block the main game loop, like animations, loading screens, or complex AI behaviors. This is a simple way to visualize it. This is a modern CPU, and inside you will find many cores. Each core is like having a worker. Each core can process instructions and do some work. Let's execute your game here. If your game is a single-threaded game, it means that only one core or worker will be able to process your game, so every other core will not do anything related to your game. Sometimes in your game, you will need to go through the main game code and make calls to other functions. The game will not continue until the function is completely processed and exits, then returns back to the main part of your game. But if the function takes too much time, your game will be slow and start to lose frames, so every function needs to be fast enough so that doesn't happen. But what if there is no other way around? The function will be slow no matter what you do. In those cases, you can use a coroutine, so the function will do some work, return back to the main game, and continue. Later you can continue the function processing and return back, so the main game can continue and the most heaviest part of your game can run at the same time, but will process what it needs to do over time in the most efficient way. Still, if you have thousands of entities you want to process, your coroutines will be able to handle as many of those in the allocated time and process the rest when possible. But many things may not be processed on the desired time. There should be a better way to deal with this. So now let's talk about multi-threading. Multi-threading allows you to run multiple threads concurrently, or in other words, run multiple things at the same time, which is great for intensive tasks like physics calculations, pathfinding, and procedural generation. So instead of using a single core, you can assign tasks to different cores, so everything can go in parallel, making it run faster. So in my game, I set up all the pathfinding logic into different threads, so I can have hundreds of units without slowing the gameplay. When I had it in a single thread, it started to get very slow after a few dozen entities, when trying to find where to go every frame. But after changing the code to use multiple threads, I can manage many hundreds without any problems. Even if the code is not optimized yet, it runs very fast. But there are also many things to consider when using any of these. If you want to know more, please let me know and I will explain in more details. But for now, by using multi-threading, I improved my game performance. So what about this week's progress? I added robots in each building to operate and manufacture items. Also updated the user interface and added a new window to control and upgrade many of the buildings. You can even control the speed of the transport belts per section or in total, just by adjusting the amount of power used. This can help coordinate delivery of products. Also, many of the buildings will deteriorate over time. Robots can be used to fix the buildings by using additional materials. Robots also break over time, so you can see that in this screen, where it will show the number of broken robots. So you will need replacement parts to fix them. I still need to add the collision detection, so they now overlap with anything. And that's it for today, a short update of the progress since last week. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you want to support my work, please click like and subscribe, and click on the notification bell, so you do not miss my next update. Thank you so much for watching my journey. See you next week.